Her right.
Oh, aim where you want it to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, officer.
What's going on? Who's organizing today?
I don't know the organizer. I'm protesting against them today. So that's what I'm doing, protesting against net neutrality. The organizer will be down there. So.
Net neutrality is a big government clampdown on our internet.
As long as everything remains calm and peaceful, we'll be good to go, right?
Yep.
It'll be calm from our side.
All right.
If it's not calm, it'll be on their side. And if they're liberals, they probably will blow their top. Yeah, right. As if.
The government is trying to control the internet and regulate so that we pay for our internet, we pay for our ISP. It should not be recognized as a utility because why not? There was
water and power utility. I mean, I can understand a free market perspective saying, let it all be free market. What do you mean to charge this price? Yeah, but they can just pay for the service. The reason why they're deciding which sites to be faster, which sites to be slower.
The reason why companies doing that is to think they're too big to fail. So that means it's the right time for sure to make people look good.
That makes no sense.
Government always
it makes no sense.
Government always wants to regulate, and free markets should not be regulated whatsoever.
Whatsoever, so we should have just consumer protections.
So
if the company wants to come in and say to you that, I'm sorry, but this toy has got lead in it and it might cause your child to die.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean? That's okay.
The company
There needs to be a certain amount of regulation. I can understand you say too much regulation. No,
if you know
I can understand that. But
something completely unmoral, let everyone know, not to buy that product in the future.
So the people that die in the meantime, so then they're forced to go to court, and the court, their ability to apply the forced mediation.
Are you saying that in this day and age there are still toys being made with lead in them? Is that what you're saying?
No, I said no.
Then it's a poor analogy.
Protection.
What?
I believe in consumer protections.
Well, consumer protection is all well and good, but our government tends to go way beyond what is just protecting people.
No regulation?
What? No, there's a difference. There is a happy medium in between over-regulation and no regulation.
ISP for service. They should not be able to then sell again the right for certain websites to run faster than certain other ones. They're charging you twice and they're giving you poorer service.
Okay,
so why is that wrong?
So then start up your own internet service that's faster than them.
Do you realize how much money it takes? And where they put the internet Verizon is paying people to lobby.
So group together with a bunch of other like-minded individuals and start your own internet that's in competition with the other. Yes. Start your own internet servers. All you gotta do is buy some server time.
Basically, at the bottom of what you're talking about, you're saying no regulation. Okay, I can understand what you're saying. If you're over-regulate, fine. But there has to be somewhere in the middle that we can agree upon. And if I'm
I think you're right.
For a service, I can't count on the fact that Verizon loses national coverage, that AT&T loses national coverage, that US Cellular has national. That they're not already. They already have the right to take my personal information and sell it. It's already gone. Agipie gave that away.
Well, every time we sign up for these services,
there's a difference between that. I choose to use Facebook. Okay, Facebook. When I would choose to use their service, it's for free. Okay, I just pay my ISP to get to that. Okay, when I get onto Facebook, I know that they're going to be looking at everything I like. I know that they're going to be looking at.
And I know that they're also going to be censoring anything that's conservative whatsoever, so it can't hardly see the light of day.
Yeah, look at Sinclair Media and talk about censoring.
Who's Sinclair Media?
Why don't you go look it up?
Well, tell me the short version.
I use Facebook. I use Twitter. I know that they're going to be monitoring me. I know that they're going to be looking at my likes and my dislikes. They're going to be using market targeting on me.
Yeah.
I give up that right by joining their service.
Yeah.
I don't do that when I hire an ISP to provide me access to the internet. You don't start up your internet. The internet's already in existence.
Well, yeah.
You provide a lane to get onto the internet.
Right.
So then they should not be able to say. Oh, well, you know what? I don't like Fox News. So you know what? I'm going to make Fox News run a little slower. They're not paying me the same that CNN is. Okay? I already pay my ISP for access to the internet. They should not be able to charge Fox, charge them, make extra money so that they can make certain threads run faster or slower. Neutral, so that everybody has equal access to information. That's the foundation of being an informed voter.
Okay, so neutral. You want the government censoring? You want
No, the government does not control the internet. They just say that you cannot, as a company, double sell.
Double sell.
You should be on my side. If you're a forgotten man, if you're forgotten, then jump on my side. Keep it neutral so that people can go to the website that you create and it doesn't run slower because you didn't create it. Do you want a bunch of liberal media controllers saying, well, you know what, I don't want people going to Fox News. I don't want people going to Breitbart. That's a load of shit. No.
But honestly, if someone told me
Freedom
not
of
to go to
information.
much, I would go because I don't like people what to do.
Do what?
So, honestly, I
But
will.
the
If
government
someone
is
told me
not
not
always
to
the
use
root
that
of all
service, I will say, why did it want
Regulation is not always the root of all evil, sir.
But that's a dumb reason. That's not what to use the service. Okay, so if I wanted to eat at Burger Burgers and I never been there before, I can just go to Yelp, take a look at the ratings, and that's a free market solution to regulations. Sites like Yelp. Anybody can put great
And Yelp can't be manipulated?
Okay, right. The cases you get so when a company makes a controversial deal, you get a lot of good comments from local customers, a lot of bad comments from customers who've never been there. So you can you see good equal amount of growth.
You believe that this should be also true about the FCC?
Yeah, it should be.
So the FCC should be able to see comments. Did you go and make a comment expressing your views to the FCC?
Yeah,
did you go to their website?
Yeah.
Did you? Yes.
Yes.
You did.
Yeah.
As did I.
Okay,
sir.
so
there's our regulation and government.
Okay, so talking about free market solutions, the FCC is anything before you can put anything on the shelves, you have to get a government approved, and you have to pay a fee. We should have a stamp system, so if you want to, if you the FCC should the FDA. FDA should run on a step basis.
How does the FDA relate to the FCC?
Bobby, you're probably getting the wrong alphabet soup together.
Okay, our free market view. Okay, so everything you buy in the store is free market. See, okay, Amazon. We know they're making stores. So if I want to put something in Amazon, one of the Amazon stores, and I and we had stamp system for the FDA for the Food and Drug Administration. On a stamp system,
Hi, Amy. How you doing?
I can go my own route, road naturally, just,
Oh, pretty good.
sell it.
Bobby's
And,
at a protest here. He's protesting against net neutrality.
Access to do that. What if somebody said,
So,
you know what, you paid me to market your materials, but
so you can
don't
keep the camera on him
stores.
and
You
the
know,
conversation
Target,
here.
you won't sell it at Target, right? Well, I'm going to
Huh?
Target too. They can have the right to sell your stuff. You know what I mean? So they're going to make money not only from you paying them.
Just a minute. Let me get where I can hear you a little bit better. We're out in the middle of
That's
traffic.
unfair.
Here.
That's
Bobby.
squashing capitalism.
Bobby, can stay away from the.
It's going to have you move this way a little bit. This truck takes the corner, it's going to be kind
Oh,
of short.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I don't want you to get hit.
Hey, Bobby.
Yeah.
Here, you hold the camera now if you want.
It's like, so,
Free market capitalism is a wonderful thing. And you should not. Ooh,
it's okay. It's okay. I'll get that later. Okay, thank you. So it's yeah. So, but free market
See,
capitalism.
we're not too far apart. It's just that where you look at the government being the one who's the enemy, I tend to look at and
Okay.
corporations taking advantage.
Okay.
Okay? And
If a corporation takes
what we want is the same thing. We want free market capitalism. And the best way to do that is to have a free system, not to have net neutrality, where they don't say, you know what, Fox didn't pay me this, Bright Barber didn't pay me this, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make them run a little slower. That doesn't seem fair. That doesn't seem like what you're talking about.
If a company wants to charge me extra, this should be put on notice. Hey, everyone, these companies are charging you extra for going to this.
What if they
so people can choose.
What if they all do it? What if Verizon does it? What if AT&T does it?
That'd be a perfect,
what if they all do it?
Then if they all do it,
you go to one and you go to the other. You say start your own up from the ground. Do you realize how much money that would take?
Yeah,
Do you realize the kind of power those guys have? I can't start my
Apple started in the garage.
Apple started in the garage, but they had a decent product.
Yeah.
And they had to wait. You know how long it took them to make that money to get to the place where they are?
But because you have to build a company by brick. So you got to put real time and effort.
In the meantime, while I'm building that company, I have to use that ISP that's deciding what can run fast and what can run slow. Why not just have a rule that says, you know what, you're already making money by charging for internet service.
The companies who are
service, but you can't charge the companies to make and the websites so that you can make certain ones run fast and certain ones run slow.
Yeah, so
that's wrong.
If I had
I'm not
stock
talking about just the ones I
like,
like, I'm talking about that you like too.
So if I had stock on Verizon, I pay for Cricket for a service. So if I had stock on Verizon, and they would from people's internet, I can take my stock out of Verizon.
That's a very jarring thing to have it shaken all over like that. It's very hard on the eyes.
I can take my stock. I can take my stock out at a company, and I can take my stock.
Okay.
Into a different company.
So where's the common ground between the two extremes then?
I think that we both want free market capitalism.
Okay.
That does not always mean zero regulation. I think it's not a bad idea to say, you know what, in our best interest, in the interest of growing things, that we should have neutral internet. Because that means that if I want to go to Fox News or if I want to go to
I'm in agreement with you there. I don't know if he's thought through this whole argument that he's making very well.
Having that consumer protection is a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So benefits should have but having them company decide who can run fast and who can run slow based on the money they get from the individual websites or whoever is anti-capitalist.
Okay. So if net neutrality was more of a staff, the regulation was set up as a staff solution and not a mandate, I'll be more.
How is it enforceable to a major corporation if it's not a mandate? How is it enforceable? Out of the goodness of their heart, they're not going to choose to make the money.
Okay, so if a company does, if net neutrality get passed, the company still throttles, and the government finds out that we use force against them to apply for law. And a company tries to go against the law, and net neutrality gets passed. Government enforcing regulation is force. And force is battle for market. Free market is not a ordered machine. The government runs our economy on Keynesian economics. So they think the free market system is a machine. That's like having the government work on the machine is having to force the kind of run the place of the machine. So the market in the Austrian form, the Austrian version of the free market, the free market system is the free market system. So bad competitors die on the vine. Bad companies die.
You're really going on. We're talking about net neutrality. We're not talking about the foundations of government.
Okay, so
I mean, you can make
the free
a
market
point
system
based upon your philosophy, but you don't explain your entire philosophy.
Okay, so the free market system is honestly a living, breathing organism system. So if a company is a bad fruit, it will die on the vine. And a good fruit, it's consumed.
That's a hell of a metaphor you're making. You're a poetic person.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. You're poetic. But can we get back to what we're talking about here?
Yeah, so
okay, you're talking about a larger system. You know what I mean? Yeah. That'd be a much deeper and long conversation than we're talking about here. But from the perspective that I think you just explained to me, what you prefer is less regulation and more consumer control.
Yes.
And as part of that consumer control, I would assume that you want some sort of consumer control. Okay? So that's not a dirty word from where you're coming from. I'm assuming you're a libertarian, am I right?
Yes, I am a libertarian.
So, because you're a libertarian, you believe in individual rights.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay,
So Because you want for a tangent, I'll go for a tangent. One of the problems that I believe that observed libertarians have is they don't necessarily support, for example, the protest against correct?
Okay, they don't like
Let me make my point about it before you answer, okay? And the reason is because they don't believe government regulation. How does that relate to eminent domain being used by the government to force pipeline going through it?
Okay, so the libertarians don't want the government to use their hands, but the libertarians understand that the oil pipeline companies they have to use semis and trains to deliver that oil to Canada.
How does that relate? How does that relate to
the
eminent
pipe
domain?
is
The
more-
use of eminent domain would seem to be against what you're talking
so
about.
the pipe,
If people are willing to sell land,
if the
it's a
company-
choice. It's about your choice, right?
If
So
they-
if I'm a farmer and I choose and I want to
Yeah.
sell my land, that's okay.
Yeah,
But if I don't want to sell my land and they use eminent
Yeah.
domain to take my land,
It's
is that okay? Or
not
is that
okay.
against individual freedom?
But if BP
Well, as I
bought
understand
all
it, if you're
that
talking about the
land
Keystone XL pipeline,
Yeah.
they don't actually buy the land. They buy an easement across the land, which is a very good amount of money for the farmers.
But
And
there are some people
continuing
who are not to take the money.
Right.
They have to, eminent domain has to be used.
Yeah.
Right.
It's happening.
Oh, okay.
So would you not necessarily then go back to the individual rights?
The
And
company
say,
should
no,
go
they don't
around
want to
that.
do it. They should go around that. That's a wonderful admission.
Yeah.
Are they doing that? No.
No, but those.
So what?
That's
Is it 100% black and white then to you?
okay. The thing is,
Should there be consumer protections to protect in a free market system with less regulation?
Yeah.
Should there be?
And the
Should I be
libertarian
forced
side-
into forced mediation rather than going to court?
should
Should I be in forced mediation? Because that's in the freaking contract when I sign up for Verizon. Forced mediation.
Anytime you've got government involved and force, they're forcing you basically in many cases at the point of a gun
Well,
to
you're
comply
talking
with
about-
what
you're
they
talking about-
want.
You're talking about legislative, right?
Yeah.
And
let's-
judicial. I know
yeah.
you have your problems with judicial too. But should I be forced into forced mediation if I have a problem with Verizon? Should I?
If you don't like
I shouldn't.
If you don't
So
like
there's some leeway there between our two different perspectives. And the same thing I'm talking about here with net neutrality. You can say, you know what, I want the government out of it. I don't like them. I don't want them there. But you know what? There has to be consumer protection. There has to be for the person who's going
What's
to
the top lines mean?
Ajit Pai is the head of the FCC. And
Okay.
I feel as though he is being used like a tool by Verizon, who he used to work for as a lawyer. He's the tool of Verizon and other internet service providers. Try and get this overturned in the same way that they showed through that now your internet history can be sold to marketers from your ISP. When I do something on Facebook, I know that they monitor me. And I pay my ISP, so my personal history should not be for sale. Okay?
So I think the only way that we can actually get away from that is probably to come up with a competing network. And I think there's enough of us out here.
And I'll come and join.
What's
You know
that?
what? I don't have hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well,
nor the-
not
nor the-
individually we don't have, but if we all band together,
You started. Give me your name
I
and
might.
phone number. When you do that, that's your $1 million idea. You got it right there.
well,
In the
I've got an even
meantime,
bigger idea than that.
There are
I-
billionaire companies out there
Hey.
with the power and the PR and the people in Washington
now-
pushing their point of
Now
view.
think about this one.
People who used to work for Verizon are in government now. Oh my goodness.
I've got an
Drain the
invention.
swamp.
Hey,
Drain the
Yeah,
swamp, buddy.
and so, but
Yeah.
there should be, honestly, when it comes to company and government, there should be a wall between the companies and the government for the government doesn't destroy the free market system.
Free market system is good. Panelist consumer protection. I shouldn't be forced into forced mediation. I shouldn't be told that I'm going to be charged twice for something I'm already paying for.
that I agree with.
There you go. You see, we're not too far apart.
Yeah.
I believe in civil liberties.
So when it
Okay.
comes to land disputes, if I have a land dispute with a company, usually I get the government involved by suing them in court.
Yeah,
The
but what
government-
if you're in forced mediation? Then you can't go to court. You have to go and meet with the person that they decide is going to make the decision for you.
Then
Is that okay with you?
That
No.
person doesn't want to
It
help me
shouldn't be.
fix my problem. I'll go above his boss.
How?
Call up.
It's a contract that you sign. Do you read the entire contract you mentioned that? Read that whole
Majority,
contract.
90%
Do you know
people
what's in there?
90% of people do not read the whole contract. Most contracts, I just take a read. I don't read because I'm not expecting to have a problem. I don't even know what I'm going to get myself into. When I sign when I do
I pray that it never comes to where you have to can actually find out what's in their country. Okay?
But you know how
Because you're
those
right. Most people don't have the patience
yeah.
to read. And I agree.
You're
love
right.
Free market. I believe in capitalism too.
Most of us don't
I
have
believe in less regulation.
patience
That's
to
good
read
too. But I do believe in consumer protections. And you can't make a company as big as AT&T, as big as Verizon, do what is right unless it's codified in law. You can't. They're just going to do what they're going to go to the other extreme.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, all companies start as small as burger broker, and if they have a good service, they go to the size of food. And if food has a better service, they go to the size of Starbucks. Each company, when it's fixed pay, has to make 50 years back, is to start
Can I share a short, very short example? You tell me whether or not it's fair, okay? From the perspective as a literature. Okay? My father grew up with a man who was in the candy business in Chicago. You ever had any candies? Those little green candies, you sometimes get them, you put them on your pillow at the hotel.
Okay,
You might
yeah.
get them at the Olive Garden after you finish little green
Yeah.
wrap candy.
Yeah.
That's the company that he started from the ground up. He was an immigrant, okay? And he was able to make his money because he made a deal with the unions. And the unions said that, okay, we'll accept a certain amount of pay in order, to keep the economy rolling and moving forward. Okay, he made a large amount of money in that business. Candies, candies. I think they did Red Hots, Mike and Ike's. You know those?
Okay, all those, yeah.
Those candies.
Right.
Then he retired. Okay. And he was living well, he was enjoying his time. But he got the itch again. He said, you know what, I need to get back into this. So he went back. And he decided, I'm going to get back into candy business. This is what I know. But what he didn't take into account was that he no longer had that sweetheart deal that he made with the union. Okay? And so he lost everything because he was stupid about the way he went back into business. Now you would say, okay, now that is an example of, someone not taking into account all of the possible criteria that affect them. Now, do you recognize, you were just talking to me about, for 50 years that company, the building of the doing it. His company was successful for more than 50 years. He was a multimillionaire. And he did that, but there were other things. Like you say, now that Fuddruckers might be doing great right now. Yeah. You know why it might be doing great now? Because of the population that's in this area. Because it's convenient, okay? Then over time, the different criteria change. Mm-hmm. So it's more than just the best service will always win out. There are other criteria that are entering into it that makes
It's like the old thing.
Right in the back.
The only thing constant is change.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
true.
if I was to start my own business, I would not make a deal with the union because unions, by nature,
That's kind of off the point. Okay,
yeah,
I understand your perspective.
That's my perspective.
I get your point.
And so, so
That's how he happened.
decided to take a risk with the union. That was his choice to take a risk with the union. And
Well, he succeeded with that. He did it for 50 years. When he retired, that deal was gone. If he'd not retired and kept that deal, he'd still be making money. Okay, so it's not about the union. Okay, it's about that individual criteria. Okay?
At the time he did, he chose his situation. Sadly, he did choices, and since he made bad choices, he lost. And the free market, but the great free market, you lose everything, you can go back tomorrow and start up again.
Bad credit.
Bad credit is a tough thing to overcome.
Honestly, I have no credit. So, if I start a company, I have to start it by brick and mortar, and then I do.
We can agree on that. We can agree on that. But you also cannot oversimplify it and say, that free market will outlaw. There's got to be consumer protection.
Only because there are greedy people in positions of power.
Yeah. Greedy people in government, greedy people in corporations.
Both, yes.
Where you fear
power hungry, greedy
government
people.
More,
yeah.
Where you fear government more, I fear corporations. Okay. So really, we both believe in civil liberties. I want someone who works hard to succeed too. I want someone who doesn't work hard to not succeed as much because they haven't worked as hard. Okay. I wouldn't fault them if they did. I understand that it's a complex equation. You know what I mean? But on the other hand, I don't walk around pointing my fingers at people, saying, well, you're a welfare cheat.
No, I don't do that either. Because honestly, there's a lot of people on welfare would actually live with disabilities and there's one or two bad apples who get into the welfare system and abuse the system. And those people should still get in the system once they found out out of the system.
I agree. Can we take one point on this? Okay, in relation to that, recognizing that I work with people with disabilities, there are people in need, and that it's difficult for me to believe in anybody, even the harshest, cut everything libertarian that doesn't have a problem.
Okay,
You know what I mean? Want to help people who need the help.
I know
You know
some
what I mean?
anarcho-capitalists
Why shouldn't there be a greater onus on monitoring, how Medicaid money is being used? That should be fundamental. Make sure it's being used efficiently.
Okay.
Yes,
I know
but to arbitrarily cut it and say, you know what? Let's take what was it, 88 billion? Right.
So
over the next 20 years, just say, out of philosophy, our philosophy is that we want to reduce it. So boom, slap that off. Without even looking at the need.
Okay, so anarcho-capitalists
How is that going to help? You just can't.
wait, I don't see companies as target as my master. I don't see trucks. I don't see them as my master.
So if Target were in charge of Medicaid and we're not doing an official job, then you just go to Sears?
And I go to another charity or another healthcare. So
I think we actually need to have a lot more emphasis in our government on going after every bit of corruption and every bit of waste and fraud.
We'll agree there.
And
would you therefore be behind? I'm going to scare you with this.
What?
Has there ever been an audit of the military?
no, they haven't.
A federal audit of the military. I believe, I love.
There are a lot of things where we've got defense contractors that are getting really sweetheart deals on a lot of things that are way overpriced that should have been put out for more competitive contract bidding.
So would it be fair from your perspective, this is true, that in many ways we do have common ideas? It's just a matter of that you say the government is organizing corporations.
We just have different solutions. It's the same problem.
Well, you know what Eisenhower said? He said, beware of the military-industrial government complex. It'll take over and...
I'm not for, getting the troops, the armor that they need. You know what I mean? You're not going to get that from me. You're not going to get me...
What's that?
Not respecting, that. I believe they need the tools they need.
Yeah.
Since the Rock War, the companies like Blackwater, Merck Company, would big battle for Spain's troops, and then get them better stuff. And Blackwater actually tried to make the major design for armed forces in Ontario, and the government had a competition. We were going to make the best troop transport to get a deal. The last competition. I know it's scary, but on the welfare situation, on the flip side, there's a lot of libertarians. Since we have already, the U.S. government has made an agreement, it's still have an agreement to make for welfare and social security.
You got any comments you'd like to make?
What's that?
We're doing a live broadcast here.
Oh, of the protest?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
That's my son. That's my son Bobby there.
Him?
He's libertarian and he's wanting to come here and debate people about net neutrality.
Oh, okay.
He's against the government being involved so much in our lives, and this other gentleman here believes that we need government to keep the people in big business from doing damage to us and stuff like that. So we basically have some common ground here between the two sides, but just different approaches. And what's your opinion on the subject? What's your name? Here, tell them.
My name is Kelsey.
Yeah.
Net neutrality, I think it's pretty important. As far as
What's important about it and why?
I'm not very good at talking, so I'll try not to mess this up. But yeah, I think that there should be limitations on big business and what they can do to limit our consumption.
But where do we place the limitations on government? Because people in government tend to be, in many cases, power hungry more and more as they are longer in government, and more corrupt the longer they're in government.
Absolutely.
So,
I think we agree entirely on that.
huh?
I said I think we agree entirely on that. It's all.
So what we need to do is we need to have more watchdogs, watch the watchdogs, to make sure they don't get corrupt.
I think a lot of this could be solved with term limits. On our
I'm with you there. Yes.
I feel like that is a real core problem.
There's an old saying that says, "Clean house in the Senate completely and start all over."
I mean, that's difficult. You wish you could, but I think a good
Term limits would do that over time, but
right. I think a good compromise is all right. Well, all you people who've been here for a long time,
pass the baton on to the next generation.
yeah, and then eventually they'll all be gone in 100 years. And I really feel that if you're gonna be in government, that should not be your job. Like it should be. It's a public service. Like when you're on jury, you're
Right. It should be like the founding fathers envisioned it. You go serve in the Congress, the Senate, or whatever, for a couple of years or 6 years, and then you go back home and go back to your business. That's the way it should be.
I feel, and I mean, then there would be a limit to lobbyist abilities.
I think Trump's idea of getting rid of the revolving door between lobbyists and congressmen, senators, and other government officials needs to happen. We need to ban anybody that's been employed by the government as, any kind of an official or whatever from becoming a lobbyist, and we need to ban any lobbyists from ever becoming political appointed or elected officials.
I'll tell you, I'm not a big Trump supporter. I'm not.
Are you a Hillary supporter?
I mean,
You really? Do you tell me that
in
you're
a hard place with
Huh?
that one? I don't love Hillary. I would have liked to Bernie.
So you would like communism?
What's that?
You like communism?
Uh,
Where
I like socialist policies, socialist programs.
fraught with government waste and abuse.
If we want to get into that, I feel that capitalism is flawed, and communism and capitalism are equally flawed. Right?
No, I'd say the only flaw with capitalism is when it's not controlled by honor and integrity, when it's controlled by greed. No, there are good capitalists. Huh? But the thing is, I have never ever seen a communist state that ever worked. It always starves their people. It always starves their people.
Would you say that ours is not starving its people?
No, it's not. There's nobody that's starving in the United States. You go into third world countries and people are starving. You go into communist countries, people are starving. They're standing in bread lines for. You never see bread lines in the United States
I
here.
would have to disagree with you. I don't believe that's true.
There are so many charitable organizations in the United States that have food pantries that if anybody is going hungry in the United States, it's because they don't. It's because they don't make themselves aware of the resources that are there available for them.
I don't agree with that.
Well, you can disagree all you want. That's because we got the First Amendment. It makes everybody's opinion able to be.
There are limitations if you're not taking into account. Like I personally can go to a food bank if I need to. You know what I mean? Like I am able-bodied. I'm healthy. I can.
Yeah.
I have access to those things, and there's
Okay.
one nearby me. So like where I live, if somebody, yes, you're right.
Okay.
But what if I'm not? What if I'm physically disabled? Mentally disabled? What if I'm a child?
That's what
You know,
family and friends are for,
What if
to
I
help
don't
out.
have any family and friends? What if my
Then
family
you're-
and friends suck?
that-
That doesn't. There needs.
Then
to
they're not
be-
true friends.
So you don't have any friends.
I've got
That's
friends.
What family and friends are for. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Your safety net falls apart.
Okay.
If you haven't got anybody, and even then, you're putting burdens on other people.
Okay, but how is communism better than
So
our
I'm not
current
saying
system?
that we jump into communism. That's
No.
not what I'm saying. But
Okay.
I do think, my personal opinion is that because capitalism, to its extreme, is all about greed and
Well, the
There will
extremes of
always
anything
be
are bad.
losers. Right, right.
But
with capitalism, there will always be losers. Like that's how it works.
with communism, they're always losers.
Right.
You take the farmer in communist Russia, who is forced to give away 90-some% of his crop and not have enough to feed their own family.
I'm not saying that communism is flawed. I'm saying that ideally,
It's much more flawed than capitalism is.
I'm saying that ideally we would combine the two. We would have socialist programs. You know, like healthcare, a single-payer system would work too. But
No, a single-payer system is anathema. It is the worst thing that you can have. The very worst. The worst of the worst. It is. What we need is more competition in the health insurance market. We need to have health insurance companies be able to actually sell across state lines so that they have more choices instead of you just having one or two choices now because of Obamacare destroying the whole system.
And how many choices did we have before that people couldn't pay and afford their
I mean, like that's the problem.
That's why there was always the CHIPS plan for people that couldn't
Yeah, and
afford
that was super high too. I've been on it.
It was, yes, it was high, yes.
People that are out here. There are other corners here that you could be in.
What?
You're co-opting this protest corner and you're harassing people. You could be at any of these other corners around this intersection.
Where else can we have a conversation where we can learn other
with people that didn't come
viewpoints?
here to argue with you. You know what? This here is our way of getting our word out. There are other corners around here that you and your son could be at. We don't need to be standing
He chose
here having an argument
to-
being attacked by you.
We're not attacking. He's just conversing with you.
So I mean, I think that people.
How much
who
you
have,
selling your video for? How many hits you think you're going to get on the internet with it?
I don't think he's making any money on the video, to tell you the truth.
Okay. I'll be checking for it.
Go for it.
I think that a lot of people who have been in our system have a lot. You know, it's really emotionally intense. And
Well,
so, yeah, this is.
Well, I think one of the
what
biggest
you
problems
think
that
is
we've got in this country right now is that some in government decided to shut down insane asylums many years ago and put a bunch of insane people out on the streets, and they're creating all kinds of havoc and problems and overloading the homeless shelters and stuff like this. And then we've got
I would counter that the issue was that they shut down the insane asylums and then they lost access. They took away access to mental health.
well, yes, they should have provided an alternative without.
Wouldn't that be a socialist program? Wouldn't that
Not-
be the
not
government
necessarily.
providing a program?
Not necessarily.
Well, but that's the problem. Is there was no safety net. They took away what was a flawed thing. The asylum system that they had was not great. And
It was somewhat abusive in many cases.
a lot of cases.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, we should have insane. Like there was no alternative. It was just to go fend for yourselves. And
I think that was wrong of them to do that.
right. And so when I talk about having socialist programs or it's just the government saying, you know what, it would be better. It would be less economically expensive. It would be less damaging to our cities if we just took these people who need help and we gave them access to some help, right?
But
Without
a lot of those
putting a
people
stigma on
won't voluntarily go take the help that's offered to them too, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but I mean, a lot of them probably would. A lot of them do. They go to homeless shelters. They take beds and meals and healthcare when they can get it. So you can't argue that they wouldn't take advantage of the help because we have a large portion of them that do. They want
Well, another major problem we have,
take advantage of it.
not so much here in Omaha as in some other cities, is large volumes of illegal aliens that are overloading the system. And if we didn't have them overloading the system, then there would be more resources left for the people that do need them, that are citizens.
In what way are they overloading the system?
They're getting food stamps and Medicare and Medicaid and all kinds of programs like that.
Isn't the majority of, and I may be wrong, but I thought the majority of people on food stamps were citizens.
why should any illegal alien be able to get them at all?
Because I don't like to see sick kids dying.
They can stay back home in their own country.
I mean, but if they're here, then but particularly the kids, then what do? We just like, well, screw you. This is America. You die.
No,
You know, like, I don't
If they're here illegally, they need to be deported. They need to be sent back where they came from, and let them come through the channels like the ones that did come legally through the legal channels. Let them, take their place in line, and if they have valuable skills that are worth,
I think that you would need to talk to somebody who knows more about this particular thing. From my understanding, there's not a lot of great legal channels in order to get into this country, and they're also
there are lots of different channels. Like if somebody's got if somebody has a saleable skill that is in short supply here, okay.
I understand that there are, but there's limits to how many. It takes a long time, and
Yeah.
we also have to acknowledge that we kind of screwed over South America in a lot of ways. And so
Okay,
those
how did we
countries are
screw
struggling.
over South America? I'd like to hear this now.
I know that. How do we've got like puppet dictators in place all over.
They're in position there because the communists mostly, virtually everyone is
If they want
a
to be
communist dictator.
communist or not.
Huh? Yeah, most all of them are communist installed puppets. Look it up. Look it up. Look it deep in the facts, and you'll find virtually every failing economy in South America is a communist dictatorship.
America was deeply involved in a lot of those.
And if it wasn't a communist, then it was drug lords that have corrupted the governments in their.
But we had our fingers in that pot, I guess is what I'm saying.
Unfortunately, the CIA did things that I don't agree with at all about importing drugs to this country.
And now it's unstable. So we have these people, and they're coming up here to the land of the free, the American dream. I'm not saying that they're totally right to be doing that.
I think we should actually have more worker visas available for the ones that want to come and work, so they can do it legally instead of outside the law.
That seems fair. I mean, that's a solution versus these illegal immigrants.
Well,
it's really complicated. I
well,
don't even know
that's the safety valve that you need to install when you get rid of the ones that are here illegally. Do more, work visas so that people can come up here and fill the jobs that are necessary.
Would you be willing? So taking that idea, we say, we're going to get rid of the illegals. We're going to make more work visas. Would you be willing to give folks who are here illegally some of those work visas you're instituting? Be like, what?
No, I think they need to go back home and get in line with everybody else that didn't come here illegally and break our laws. They broke our laws by crossing the border illegally. Yeah, so that makes them a criminal to start with. Do you want to share your country with criminals?
That doesn't really take into account the motivation. I don't think a lot of these people are criminals at heart. They're not like going out.
So are you telling me that we should take into account the motivation of a bank robber that goes in, robs a bank, and kills somebody in the process? We should take it easy on that bank robber.
People in the
What?
process of immigrating here, they're not killers. They're not
Some of them.
murderers.
Some of them are. Some of them are drug carriers.
Yeah, and some citizens are.
And some of them are immigrants that are coming here from Muslim countries and getting themselves smuggled in here just so they can do terrorism here on our shores.
I don't think that's.
There are quite a few of them that have been coming in recent years.
Okay. Well, I think when you're talking about illegals, generally the conversation is people from South America. I don't know that there's a lot of
They want to kill us,
here.
and the more effective way to kill us is to sneak them into here in our country, like they've been doing, along with the drug trade and the arms and stuff like this.
So in my experience, and we've been at war with Muslim countries.
I myself
my whole life before. But
would
in my
prefer
experience-
fewer wars, but
In my experience, most of the terrorist attacks that have happened in the United States have been citizens of the United States.
you're not paying attention to the actual true figures. Then you need to do a little more research on that.
I don't know that I do.
Well,
I mean, you see it on the news when this stuff happens. So you can
okay,
tell you who
then
people are, so
let me ask you a question.
That's true.
Do you think that the news media, on the whole, is biased? Do you admit that the news media
Biased in
is
favor-
terribly biased against Republicans and conservatives, and terribly biased for Democrats and socialists, so that they cover up things that are not looking good to Democrats and socialists?
So
And they don't-
Do you think that the news is covering up all the Muslim terrorist attacks? No, I don't believe that. And maybe it is a little biased against conservatives and
A
Republicans.
little? I'd say it's 95% biased
because,
against conservatives.
Frankly, I think they say a lot of crazy shit. Like it's
Who,
hard.
who says crazy shit? You talking about?
Republicans.
Huh?
It's all, okay, are you Christian?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
so
Christian.
I am not. I don't believe in the sky wizard. You know, like it's cool if you do. It's cool for people to be religious, but I really don't. And so, you know, you have a lot of Republicans.
I'll pray for your
and
enlightenment then.
conservatives. Well, you don't need to. I really don't want to be enlightened. But you know, it's fine if you want to be Christian, it's fine. However, you know, a lot of the stuff they say is based on their holy book, the Bible, based on their religious beliefs and what some guy said thousands of years ago, or read that whatever the Bible said. You know, it's just it's craziness.
Okay.
To me, I don't.
What if you're wrong? What if you're wrong?
Am I? What evidence do you have that I am?
The Bible never contradicts itself. It is completely in agreement with itself the whole way through.
Doesn't
No,
the Bible
nothing,
say that you can-
nothing produced by man has ever been that perfect.
Doesn't the Bible say that you can like stone women who are adulterers, and you can rape your servants, and you know you can't be?
You must be
gay,
quoting
you
from the
can't-
Quran.
No, I'm quoting from the old. Well, I'm not quoting anything, but I think it's the Old Testament. It
Well-
goes through all this stuff. Leviticus says you can't be gay or you're an abomination. It says you can't have shrimp and you can't mix your fabric. with
Shrimp? Who
something.
said you can't have shrimp?
You're not supposed to have shellfish according to the Bible.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
That,
like,
but there's a lot of things in the Old Testament, though, that when Christ came and, you know, reformed the world with his teachings, basically set aside a lot of these, you know, very backward teachings that people, you know,
you just said
did
the
a very...
Bible never contradicts itself, and Republicans, they believe in this stuff. They believe you can't be gay, you know, or you know, women should be subservient to men.
Well, some may, but not near all Republicans do.
Well, a lot of them. And you
Well-
know, when you're on TV and you're saying this stuff, and the news anchors
Personally,
are not
I considered
favoring
myself a
their
Republican for a
opinion.
lot of years, but now I consider myself libertarian. But I also highly regard strong women who can think for themselves and stand up for their thoughts. I really appreciate that kind of women.
I mean, I'm glad you do. Being one myself, you know. And I will say, recently too, I have a friend who's libertarian. He's kind of, I like a lot of the ideas. Some of it, you know, this hatred of any socialist ideas is really, it's frustrating. Because I really do feel like this sort of compromise is the only way that we're gonna, you know,
Well,
get anywhere. But
it's
I
like the
a
old
lot of
saying,
thought process.
You know, in a true democracy, if you've got two wolves and a lamb, guess what's for dinner?
Oh, you mean libertarians?
No, I'm talking about if you got a true democracy and you got 5 wolves and 1 lamb, what's for dinner? The lamb.
So I mean, like, you're talking about the news being biased against Republicans.
Well, it is. It's a fact. It's a known fact.
I mean,
It's proven.
it may be, but I think they say a lot of crazy shit. I guess.
No.
And
That's your opinion.
part of it.
Bobby?
That's part of it.
It's starting to get wet. If you're going to stand out here, I'm going to head to the truck.
That's fine.
Oh,
Wait.
yeah.
Hello.
We may disagree on a lot, but there are things that we have in
I
common.
agree. We have a lot in
Okay.
common. Yes.
So take care of yourselves, all right?
You bet.
Yeah, then All right, what else?
Have a great day.
Yeah, have a good night.
Yeah. You want? You plan to go or go back to truck or then
You want to hang out here a little bit longer and get soaked out?
Okay, I'll get soaked out. Okay. Okay, so
Just promise me you won't edit me a little bit.
no, I'm just gonna. I got so much video. I'm not sure what my dad got filmed on this or not. So
I would rather not be on the internet, actually.
okay, so I would make sure once I did this Facebook Live, but I'm pretty sure once I download it off of Facebook, I could edit it to where I could, because I'm pretty sure there's some moments it's like, oh, that's a bad area, like
Sure. I'll see you again in another thing.
protest.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah. And then, okay, so
Hey, you want to do me a favor?
what?
Since you were videoing me, take a picture of me.
Oh yeah.
So I can say my libertarian friend took a picture of it.
Here we go.
All right, let's show
Camera, where's the camera at? Oh, right there.
Turn sideways. Okay.
Sideways? Okay.
Which side looks better? This side?
Let me just put this down. Stuff.
That was one cost more? All right.
Yeah.
My libertarian buddy took my picture.
There we go.
Thanks, bud. Take care of yourself, okay?
I will.
What was your name?
Robert Fairchild.
Robert and your dad?
My dad's John Fairchild.
John Fairchild? Well, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Fairchild?
Yep. Yeah. So. Yeah. So. Alright. So let's read the sign. Just. There we go. I think I have a picture card. Oop. I will. Okay. So there we go. I got. Oh, for sure. Pretty sure I got that sign. Okay, so what do we have here? Okay. And there's cups, there's watching. So. Okay, so.
Take care, bud.
Yep, let's see. So let's now see if I can get this finish. If I can. Okay, so. Okay. Oh, pretty good. Just sit down. Sit down.